Hello everybody, this is the handheld gamer Bill Brown. Today we're going to be looking at a pretty good game on the Atari 2600, which is Commando, a Capcom game. It came out in 1985 in the arcades. I believe it came out in 87, I want to say, about 86 to the Nintendo NES. This version I just played a couple days ago on the Atari 2600. And I must say, overall, they did a pretty good job with it. Of course, it's not as graphically powerful as the other versions, because they had to fit it on Atari 2600. But I must say, for what they did, they pulled off a pretty fantastic job. So, like I said, Commando Shinjo no Okami in Japan is a run-and-gun game. You play as Super Joe. Basically, you're fighting enemy combatants, trying to take down their bases and get all the way to the end. Now, my first experience to the game was playing Nintendo NES. My friend got one in Los Angeles at the time. His dad was working in New York, so Nintendo was doing some test marketing their NES consoles. So they first released it in New York to test to see if the system would sell. This is when they were first jumping into the console business. And after a pretty successful launch in New York, they decided to go to LA. So my friend's dad was some kind of business salesman, and he was in New York at the time. Bought a Nintendo NES, brought it back. When I went to my friend's house, they were playing this game, the Nintendo NES version of Commando, and they were also playing Super Mario Brothers. And when I saw these graphics and gameplay, that was basically it. My Atari 2600 kind of got scooted over, and I went and bought a Nintendo NES about maybe 6 months later. That's when my Atari 2600 got scooted over and had a new system in the house. So anyways, like I said, I've only played this version just a couple days ago. So from what I've played, they did a pretty good job. It's of course, like I said, there was sacrifices to be made to fit it in the cartridge, as in backgrounds and so on. But the gameplay is still there. You still fun run and gun, and when you get at the end, there's some bases, and you have to take down a bunch of enemies before going on to the next base. And it seems to be more challenging. Maybe it's because the controls or so what, I'm not sure. But anyways, without further ado, sit back and let's check it out.
2600 from Atari.
Okay, so here is Shinjo no Okami, or known as Commando here in the West. Now this game is tough. It's actually more tough than the Nintendo NES version. Of course, you can see they still managed to get some of the palm trees and some of the little sand dune things, little hills in there. But the enemies, when they shoot their bullets, they seem to like curve for a little second. So it makes it tough to dodge. And the controls are pretty easy to get used to because there's only one button. You just have to get used to it. To throw a grenade, you hold the fire button for a second instead of just pushing it, and then the grenade will launch. Because in the arcade and the NES version, other versions, there's two buttons. There's there's a fire button and a grenade button. So here, since Ataris only have one button, they've programmed it that way. So as you can see, of course, there's less enemies on the screen. If you fit it in the thing, there's only one that shows up, I think, at a time. Could be wrong. We'll take a look here, but I believe one or two at the most. So not too many enemies rush you at once. Well, actually, no, I think that I am wrong, because at the end of the day, there's like 4 or 5 that show up on the screen at once. As you can see, there's quite a bit of sacrifices, especially in the sounds and music and so on. But gameplay is still there. And if I didn't have a Nintendo NES or any experience to the game, and I only had this version, I would have actually probably had quite a bit of fun still playing it. So, I mean, I'm having a little fun now, and it's challenging trying to rush this base. So they took out all the cutscenes and all that stuff, but pretty decent version, as you can see. Challenging. It's really hard dodging these people, making it look a little easier than it was, but I had to do quite a few playthroughs before filming this. to do a good version, a good video for this. I kept dying really fast. So, as you can see, not bad. Not bad for an Atari 2600 game. And I beat the level. And there's no cutscene, she's going to the next. And I was pretty impressed at level 2 here, because this is where you start seeing some of those vehicles and things. And they managed to put those in the game, so I'm impressed that they did it on Atari 2600. So not bad, not bad. If I was rating it, I would probably give it, it's hard to rate it now because I played the other versions first. But I would say 8 out of 10. I don't know. Maybe it's too high, but 8 out of 10, I guess. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, that is it for a quick look at Commando on the Atari 2600, released 1988 from Activision. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.